After PHiSH, after show. I am the Great Wen, joined by T. How we doing tonight, T?
Good. We got an antelope. I'm happy. Yay.
Finally. Let's address this off the top. People are saying it's the 500th antelope, but if you go into the stats on PHiSHnet, if an antelope is split on a given night, they count it as 2 instances of antelope. So we are not going to make that call right now.
I don't think that matters as much though. If it's split, if they decided split and call it twice, you got to go with it. I'm more curious as to whether or not it's been updated because it says it's been played 499 times, but it's also listing tonight's show at the bottom. So does that automatically get updated when the show gets listed, or
the other night when they did Tweezer in 3 parts, you got 3 tweezers that night for stat purposes.
Well, no, but I don't think.
Okay, well, butts are for pooping.
That's your same thing we argue about with playing and reprises and all of that. You love to bring it up and you love to get under my skin with it, but no, I'm not going with that. No, yes, he is constantly. He loves. Just the other night, what was your argument the other night that you were yelling about, that you were trying to get all stirred up on the blue sky too?
Oh, the Fuego thing. Friend, the Fuego jam. That was not a Fuego jam. That was my
Kevin's
friend.
trying to create storms on blue sky, clouded up with his controversies.
Really interesting show. Really interesting show. Let's just frame it that way. Thank you. Bad takes all the time. The last time we got an AC/DC bag opener that rocked like this was in Pittsburgh 6 shows ago, and I was like, wow, we're taking off. We're going to do this tonight.
It set the tone. In a way, it set the tone early, which ended up being a weird night, but a night full of incredible jams if you take out kind of the weirdness of the constructed sets and the way things were. So, but ripping, I mean, just ripping out of the gate with exactly what you want with a bag. Just adjacently correct. Yes. And yes, I can play the Kevin thing, but I like playing the bad takes banner more. I'll bring up the thing there later. The best way to open shows, we always talk about great openers, obviously Buried Alive, and
top three
for sure. It's right there. And when you get one like this, it lets you know why. Like, it just lets you know you're in for what's coming. So it was a great way to open it, ripping.
All right,
and I think it felt good for them to be back in an arena, right? Like out of the stadium. Like, I think it was just kind of like, we're kind of back. Oh, and look, there's the rail right close to where it usually is, and not a mile off from where we usually are, like looking way out there. So it felt like this was sort of a return to that after the stadium PHiSH.
Yep, there you go, Dave. We did not forget to put the live chat up. We've made an executive decision that the live chat no longer exists. And then, so they do AC/DC bag, and you're like, that was so fantastic. And then Roggae, which is like such a great 1-2 punch to give you the hard and then ease you into something just floating on the breeze,
Yeah. It's a little early for it in the 2. Like, after that ripping, I kind of want to keep going somewhere. And this was the first kind of weird step of the night, I felt like, where we were in for a few more weird steps tonight, but this was definitely the first one where I was like, oh, that's kind of an odd 2-hole choice. Like, we always talk about moment in the 2 and how it kind of just keeps you going with whatever the 1 is, and that's kind of what you want in the 2. So this was kind of a weird slowdown. I felt like this could have been 4 or 5 in this set and set that pace there. So it was kind of an off.
You know what it said to me? We're doing Pittsburgh again. We're going to start playing some deep cuts. We're going to start busting stuff out. And they turned around and did Vultures.
Yeah.
Which is a deep cut. That's one that you're not getting very often. And, I always would like Vultures to be a second set song, akin to what Piper did tonight, maybe. I think it deserves that. But, it was serviceable.
Yes, agree. But again, these 3, even to where you get a jammed out Mull as kind of the longest song after the bag that opened it in this stretch it's just weird. There's Vultures in the 3 slot at 6 minutes. fantastic, everything. It's just a weird spot where it lines up tonight. And then Martian Monster, which gets you moving again and grooving, going, which you could have seen being in like the 2 slot after Bag, right? And dropping into that to kind of get the funk going, and then drop into Vultures, and then do Roggae after that, and then do Mull. Just the way it's constructed to me it just felt so weird. So Martian gets you going and jamming, and then you drop into a Mike song, which we've talked about his set killers. And
this tour, many of the Mike songs, maybe all of what he sang in a first set has been a bluegrass tune.
Yeah,
I am a fan of Mull. I like songs about tacos. I know Tim's complaint always was that Mike doesn't sing in his range, but I don't know. I wish they bring Victim back. I would love to see Victim get the love that Mull does. And this one, once again, got you right there. You were like, Trey's going to let it go. They're really going to do it this time. And boom.
I'm impressed though he's letting it go as much as he does. Like he's giving him, there's definitely an extended leash there now, which is nice. And same thing with that 555 we got before too. It's nice to see those. And I feel like if they're going to replace, like Makita posted, replace older, better songs that you like from
Mound,
Mike.
Everybody wants to hear Mound.
Right. I want to hear Mull again. Like I love Son of a Mule. It's one of my faves.
I'm good with that being on the shelf. The whole Russian thing song. Every time it seemed very phoned
I
in.
love that song.
Performative maybe. So anyway, thank you. Thank you.
There it is.
We need a Merriweather Strawberry 23. I felt really like I love that Trey chooses to do that. But if you want to talk about something being outside of your range, probably Strawberry 23 falls into that category for Trey. He's not Shuggy Otis,
I think people just appreciate him playing it, not necessarily the full performance of
the guitar solo, right? Yeah, at the end is fantastic.
Right. I mean, I feel like yes, if Page isn't going to give us Life on Mars anymore, and think like there's certain songs that I'm okay with if they can't do them, let's not do them. Right. But yes, and this one was kind of an odd. Again, I love the bust outs. I love what they're doing with the first sets and the bust outs that come in every night. It's so much fun. It's fantastic. It's just, yeah, I don't know. And I do want to say though, Kev, I did like Mull jams. I do like what Mike's been doing lately, especially. And tonight I thought he sounded fantastic. Like
where's Human Nature? Well, that's the one on the new album. Why haven't we gotten to Human Nature? It used to be that a new Mike song on an album, Mound Way, when they came out, would get plays every second, third night. You don't get that anymore. He gets it once or twice a tour, and it never gets the chance to fully develop and become a fan favorite just due to repetition.
Right. Or like those oddball fun songs that just fill in those gaps. Or like, even like we talk about Poor how it's such like a great quick song that just fits in there and is, you know what I mean? So I agree. Yeah, we missed
Undermind is probably the standout cut from that album. One of the most interesting things they ever did in the studio, and it always carries through to the performance, even if it's a standard reading like tonight.
Yeah, I would say standard is kind of the way you could define that, because sometimes you like that song to kind of get in the zone.
One with Kreutzmann at Red Rocks was just fantastic, because what other drum song are you going to try to bust out with Kreutzmann?
And that, and I felt like there was, it almost felt like kind of, I don't know, because the magic you saw kind of later, especially in Life Saving Gun with what Fishman was doing at some point. So I kind of felt like that this was sort of his bullpen session, so to speak, to kind of get ready for like the next two. Because I thought this was like the next two were very strong for him, I thought, for sure. And getting the Petrichor, I wish Tim was here. Yes, I think.
Can I just say, Petrichor is one of my absolute favorite studio PHiSH cuts. Bob Ezrin's overproduction and heavy-handed stuff really made that the standout on Big Boat for me. Whereas Tim's somewhere. doing something.
Tim is with the wife tonight because he's going to the next 5 shows, so he has a hall pass for tonight. But I agreed, Mike. I think it's so funny. As soon as that went on, that was the first thing I was like, I'm texting Tim.
For me, the thing is, if I want to go see a band recreate an album, I'm going to go see Yes or something like that. I want to hear Close to the Edge, like Close to the Edge was written. I go to see PHiSH because I want to see things expanded on. And Petrichor is, composed. And I know you might say, oh, Reba's composed, but Reba allows places that they've expanded for jams in it. Petrichor is always a really straight reading, and it falls flat for me.
There's 2 parts I love in it, and they can be as flat as I still love them. I love when the piano section in the middle, like in that middle section, is just Page at his finest, I feel like. And the very end when it comes in and Trey does the whole rain, everything. I love the end of it. It's just, it's so Broadway. It feels so like the New Year's show of it. Like that's always, but It just feels that way. It just feels like Broadway Trey and Broadway PHiSH, and I love it. And like I said, I'd take it 10 out of 10 times over Drift While You're Sleeping or some of those other like 3-segment songs or whatever, for sure. And
the last Drift was 12 minutes. It's funny you say that.
I know. So, but yeah, it's fun to have it back.
You don't think of Drift as a long song, but you think of Petrichor as a long song, which is kind of weird.
I do think of Drift as a long song. Like that's the song to me that, as Mike joked earlier, you could go out to the bathroom and then go to your car, grab a smoke, come back in, hit the merch table, and get back to your seat before it's over. That's Drift to me. Petrichor, I feel like, is interesting enough that it like keeps my attention long enough in my like I want to like hear it and dance to it more than Drift. I'm like, no, I'm out. Like I can't even deal with the reggae section and all that. No, done.
Right. Yeah. So then we got the set-saving song.
Yeah,
always just such a great closer. I mean, come on. If for me, it's filled that space that Antelope always stood as being a go-to to close the set. It's gonna open up. It isn't as composed and straight, through as Antelope, but
totally.
Love it. Good choice.
This is interesting. I don't know when that would be. That would be incredible to hear. That would be incredible.
Is that the one that Steve Howe's like ching ching with the guitar? Because I always wanted to hear Trey do that.
That would be, I doubt them, or I want to hear Tabor's Choice play. I would love to hear Zach ripping on that one personally because they're so inspired by them. But yes, Life Saving Gun. Amazing. Like that show.
Are you okay with it in that space? I've heard people grumble that it's better in the second set where it can be open-ended, but I think it really is best served by having a beginning end with enough room that they can fill in 5 to 7 minutes of jamming.
No, I'm fine with it where anywhere here, no, not really any earlier than this in the first set, right? Because you want it to be able to expand and do its thing. Otherwise, yes.
Gotta close.
It's gotta close. Otherwise, you put it in the second set somewhere where it can be a 25-minute incredible jam and get some
Walls
crazy
of the
shit
Cave, Antelope, Life Saving Gun. Every era has a song that should be the first set closer.
And this thing, I mean, what it did tonight, it was that moment of feeling like, okay, here we go. Like this is kind of what's been missing all set, and kind of where I want to see them get to. And that song just, I mean, I said on the Discord, it's one of those that always fucks now. It is in that zone of like, when it comes on, you're getting something good out of it, regardless, even if it's a shorter compact jam, or it does what like tonight it did. And I think that's what's so unique about it and awesome. And just sitting it in the encore spot, fabulous.
Right.
I mean, not the encore spot, the end of the first set spot, fabulous.
Yeah, I was going to say we have 100 people watching, but it dropped to 99 as you were rambling on.
Don't watch the numbers, Cav.
All right, if this is your first time watching, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Think about becoming a member. We got all kinds of great stuff. We have an interview coming up with Brad Serling from Nugs, and we're going to release that a day early for the members to check out. Fascinating interview. We have a lot of huge stuff coming up. We'll obviously be here all weekend doing our thing. We have an Friday morning, make sure 9 o'clock, we got a special interview that you're going to want to check out. And why don't we jump into a set that had 2, in my opinion, of the best jams of tour with a lot of filler around it.
Yes, a lot of filler around it. I felt like, again, continue. We talked at intermission with the members, kind of just about the weirdness of the feeling of that first set, just kind of being like, that was not that it was bad in any way. It was just it was just kind of a weird feeling set, the way the songs were lined up and the way everything happened. And then having that ripping life-saving gun to close it. You're like, what do you open the second set with? Where are we going in the second set? Was that sort of the warm up that we needed now to get into this? And Sample was I think you used the word before, serviceable opener, right? It didn't, it did a lot of opening, like at 5 minutes, like it was nothing. It was just like, here it is to open. Let's get
opener.
Right. It gets you going and in it, but you're like, okay, here it is. Now let's get to the meat of the dinner. Like, there's your appetizer. Let's dig in. Like, let's get going.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. And if you're watching on YouTube, you're hating life. Wave of Hope,
right, exactly. You're like, God damn it.
Wave of Hope is such a consistent vehicle. I mean, up there with what's going through your mind, Ruby Waves, just every time it has the potential to go huge. Most of the time it does. One of the most interesting Trey lyrics, in as much as if you listen to the verse part of it, it doesn't rhyme. It's written like a free-form poem, which I've always found fascinating. And I feel like the message of this too shall pass is a lot better than just told everything's right.
Tonight,
I know that was a lot. That was a lot in 2 sentences.
It was your pontificating. I don't know. Tonight's jam was unreal. Like where they took that thing. It does that a lot. Like you called it
all almany.
Yes. And you called it an intermission, saying like that was on deck for tonight. Like it probably will get played. And as soon as it came on, I was like, oh man, Kev called this one. And I was like, in the 2 slot, this is that stretch, these 2, 3, 4 songs that have been getting all the love this tour, like those huge jams in them. This one, it sort of was just that one at 26 minutes, which was fine. More than fine. Like it was unbelievable jam. And again, had the Petrichor moments in it. Like they kept coming back to Petrichor throughout some of these jams tonight, which I thought was really interesting and really kind of fun. That now that Trey kind of brought it back, you heard it a lot in there, and you heard the da-da-da-da-da quite a few times in the jams, as well as some other of that in there. So really cool, really interesting, really good stuff in those jams, in that jam particularly. And then jam was great, way better than the
I
jelly.
tell you what, I make all my calls on Blue Sky. Join me.
He does. So then we could translate those over.
Right. What is the stat you had for waiting all night?
First one they've done since Forum 21, fall Forum 21.
Many nights. People really like waiting all night.
I love it. It reminds me of the old days, man. Like it's one of those songs, and it's such like unique lyrical fish. Like it tries to be fishy and funny, but also kind of just has that serious side to it lyric. So this one, we always talk about what could have been a radio hit. I feel like this could have been a radio hit for PHiSH. Like this could be that song because it's just kind of that mellow.
You know where that song belongs is in a rom-com.
Yes, completely. Because I was even thinking more like late 80s, 90s radio is where it really kind of would have been exactly, like really like found its home and kind of that. But yes, I totally agree. Yeah, complete rom-com. Totally. It was great. And it would be so funny because it'd be one of those songs where people are like, what is that song? Who is that? And you're like, PHiSH? What are they doing in this movie? And then like, yes.
That's kind of catchy.
Right, exactly.
All right. If you were not going to give me 10 minutes of "Don't Shine That Light in My Face," man, just sing the original lyrics to Axilla. Just do it. I mean, come on, the summer out by the pool. Come on. Even Tom Marshall said it was kind of weak.
I don't know. I don't care. I love it. I love Axilla. I love it coming out. I love this 3-song stretch. The Waiting All Night gets you in that, and then bam, Axilla just. Man, it just hits you like a truck. I love it. It's so good. It's so much fun. And
I love the story in Axilla, the original. there's witches and there's medieval fights and there's rhino something going on. I mean, Axilla too, we're down by the pool, you know. It's I don't know. Anyway.
I always will love the slip to fall line though. I think that is just such a great line. I love that.
Right.
Like the time between slip to fall. It just always sticks in my head. I'm like, that time of like when you slip and then you before you eat it is that like that moment.
That's
And just
right.
brilliant
When
lyrics.
You jerk,
brilliant.
Your body jerks.
Right. And you're like the bliss you find in that moment, like if you could just freeze it and it just that always hits me. It's one of those lyrics. And then dropping into the Piper, which
restored to
yes.
former glory.
Oh God, yes. We're not even going to talk about the lack of slow bill because that doesn't exist anymore. Go buy the t-shirt on Wook Plus and make your silent protest. But this was beautiful.
Almonds again. We went back into an almonds jam. I think you mentioned that there was some Petrichor. I wasn't catching that, but
it's that I'm kind of was familiar throughout so much of it. What?
I'm not that familiar. I've heard Mountain Jam 1,000 times. I've heard Petrichor maybe 20 in my life. You know,
right. But the funny thing is, you'll get Scott Marks will give us the Petrichor teases and won't give you the Mountain Jam teases ever.
Ever. He doesn't. He's anti-almond. We'll have to ask him about that. You know, I texted him the other night with the whole Fuego thing, and I was like, please explain to me why you changed it. And he did. So after tour, we'll have him on. And I said, we're going to have to talk about that a little.
I know you're going to. I know.
The new quadraphonic Topolines or Guy Forget or Party Time. You know?
Mm-hmm. Yep, pot stir. But that Piper drop in was fantastic. Like that smooth segue into it, or like that just sort of, you know, when it starts and you hear, and like, I don't know, I'm so triggered to hear it, right? You always, those first notes are like, Piper! And then it like takes a while before it actually gets into it. And then it's like, yes. And then what used to be a fantastic long build into it now is Trey starting early. But
we got so much on the back end
that's the thing. And that was always our complaint. If you're going to start early, then give us everything at the go. Take that back end and go with it. And that's what they did tonight. And that is how it should be done.
Right. No Dark Evil though.
No.
Very blissful tonight.
Yeah, stayed above.
There was no twist from Manchester that got dark.
No, it stayed very much above that. And then the abrupt kind of, we had talked about this before and you had mentioned it, like, I can't remember what it was, but you were like, I'll take that over a lonely trip any day. And we're like, oh man, it's been so nice. We haven't had a lonely trip all tour. And we got one tonight and it felt longer than 6 minutes. Even at 6 minutes, that was long, but I felt like there was like an added.
6 minutes is an appropriate amount of time. But at this point, we got a short song, an incredible jam, 2 short ones, an incredible jam, another short one. And then as we go through, there was I didn't feel like there was any consistency to it across the set. It was where he was throwing things at the wall. Let's do Lonely Trip. All right, well, this isn't working. Let's do Numberline. That's always a reliable one, you know?
That's what it felt like. You have those moments, kind of chaotic set list moments of Trey of like, oh man, where's going? And I felt like, yes, he knew where he wanted to go after Piper. He wanted to get into Lonely Trip because he hadn't done that one yet. But after that, I felt like he was sort of like, where are we going to go after that? Oh, Numberline. Because it's just that easy. Like, let's just do it. And at 9 minutes, it's still... It's still jammed. I don't know. It's such a weird song when they throw it. Like I don't know. It's just such an odd.
Without Numberline, we wouldn't have PHiSH right now. It was the song that brought Tom and Trey back together.
I know.
Loving Cup might be one of my top 5 covers they do. That Circus Comes to Town, but Loving Cup is such the beautiful buzz line. It's one of those kumbaya moments you get with the audience and the band, and
it's great. It's great. I mean, it's nice. It just felt like the perfect closer to be back in the arena tonight and doing that and having the lights, which the lights look spectacular tonight, like as usual, but I think Folsom didn't have the full rig set up, and tonight had the entire full rig setup. And man, there were times when that thing was like, it looked so tall in there. It was crazy, but yeah, the lights, amazing job with the lights, and Loving Cups always has great lights. And I'm
Dave, Michael, what's up?
You got to get on the Discord and go in their secret clubhouse, and they'll give you all the
little secret
the
clubhouse, because I don't even know.
We don't even know what they are anymore.
We don't even know. I've tried to figure it out. We've analyzed footage, and we just can't even figure it out. So,
but solid way to end the show. Very fun. It's one of those fun rock and roll songs too, where they all kind of get into playing the rock stars, and you know he's going to take Stones covers. So yeah,
I thought we were going to have 11 minutes, 10 minutes for an encore. They did Bug. I figure we get a first tube. Bug is Bug. They like playing it. That young lady likes it. She got to come on stage. Mango's song is one of my favorite Trey Only compositions, and I think it's one of his earliest ones he wrote completely by himself. You know,
Bug. The thing I like about Bug in the encore spot is that it's better than getting one of Trey's slow songs, right? Like I'll take it over Beneath the Sea of Stars or something like that comes in that one slot and then kind of leaves you kind of sitting there. This is a beautiful song for the encore, and now I need first tube to get me going and be like, yay, something save the encore, and then that's it. You know what I mean? So I'll take Bug in that spot because it at least gives you the energy to be like, okay,
awesome, right? Bug Possum, Josh,
right, exactly. And you're like, this is going to be sweet because now at least I'm up, and now whatever the 2 slot song is, let's go. So it was awesome that it was Mango. Getting a Mango into Antelope is just that 1.0 juice that you can just stick in my vein, and I'll love it. Because even when Mango started, I was like, oh, this is a great way to close this show. Like, fantastic. And then you finally bring out Mariano Rivera and give us the greatest closer there is as the final song of the night, and the first time it's been played this tour. And
yeah, it's the first time it's been played since that one that ended up in the middle of the second set
at the bowl that I was at that show. And this was fantastic.
People say that Antelope should retire, but there is a 2-minute period in that song where they
who
are
says
completely
that?
unhinged.
Yeah, who says that? Who says that?
The people on Blue Sky.
Probably show me those people. No, why would you ever? No, never. No.
For a song that's 40 years old that debuted 40 years ago, it holds up remarkably well. And there's that unhinged 2 minutes where you look at them and they're totally in control. If you close your eyes, you're like, the band is falling apart. Are they ever going to get out? And then they hit the note.
Did you see that shot tonight though, when they were cut the smile on Trey's face after set the gear shift to the high gear of your soul? Like when he looked at that crowd and he was like, they'll never that's the moment he lives for, and that's the moment we all live for in that song, and seeing him doing it and that's PHiSH. Like that's the greatest PHiSH song there is, in my opinion. It is just, it's perfect. And yeah, it was awesome. Like that's how you close a show. And considering tonight's show was such, we'll use this word again, weird show with the construction of the set list and kind of how it was put together, outstanding jams in there, and a really cool, fantastic encore way to close it up.
Everything bodes well for South Carolina. We are not going to have a 2019 situation.
They'll do that as Isabella Chalk Dust reprise night and everything, that chaos. Yes. White Lights and Antelope Tea. Yes, Jason, that is the Fluffhead, Golgi, and Antelope are the 3 White Light mainstays 1.0 loves that, yes, that's wash over me at all times with those White Lights.
Yep. Incredible. All right, like, subscribe, think about becoming a member. We got a lot of big things brewing behind the scenes. So
go to the Discord, join our Discord, and join the Marvin Discord and hang out with everybody. It's a lot of fun.